when you can actually see your profit for the year in dollars and cents, it gets you more in the notion of selling corn, knowing that I can lock in a $50,000 profit or whatever the profit is. You want to lock it in. If I know I can make that much profit in a year, I will be in business next year.
Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's May 30th, 2013. I'm Logan Burgess. To my right here is Cody Bills. Cody, let's jump into fire tip. See how the grain's traded here on a Thursday. As you can see, we see a lot of red on the board. Corn down 10 3/4 on the July contract. Soybeans off 6 cents. Chicago wheat down 4. Kansas City wheat down 1 3/4. If you guys want live quotes and direct market access at your home or office, visit us at grainhedge.com. You can take a no-obligation trial of the platform that we use here on GrainTV. You know, coming out of the night session, Cody, it really seemed like that news out of Oregon yesterday of the GMO wheat being found was something that was kind of on the tops of a lot of people's minds. How did that play out today? It looks like it might have weighed on wheat a little bit.
Yeah, it weighed on wheat, I think, earlier on during the day. We also saw Japan cancel a tender to buy U.S. wheat. I think that weighed on prices as well. If you look over here, this is a 5-minute chart, and you can see here that each bar represents 5 minutes worth of price activity. And you'll see in the earlier part of the trade, we really came off a little bit, but we were able to rebound by the end. Really what I think the reason for that is I think for the most part, people are viewing this as most likely an isolated event. The USDA said that there's no evidence to suggest, at least at this point during the investigation, there's no evidence to suggest that this GMO wheat trait has made it to the commercial markets. If we find out that it has made it to the commercial markets, I think that we will definitely see a more violent price movement to the downside. The bottom line here is that China, the Philippines, Japan, they're all going to be paying very close attention to the investigation here and the results. But I think for the most part, people are viewing this as most likely an isolated event.
Yeah, certainly. If we take a look here at corn, you know, Cody, we did see corn the leader to the downside today, looking at old crop grain prices down 10 3/4 there. The big news for the corn market today was the ethanol numbers that came out. And if we take a look here at the slide that we've been charting here throughout the marketing year, you can see that today's number, 863,000 barrels per day reported. That was down 12,000 barrels per day from last week's marketing year high. So certainly another strong number there. And really what's been supporting that is the ethanol crush margin. If we take a look here at that slide, last week throughout Iowa, it averaged $1.89 per bushel. And you can see here that really driving this strong production over the last several weeks has been a crush margin, which has really picked up. Certainly helped out by those March 1st quarterly grain stocks, which really took a lot out of the corn market. But bottom line, if we turn back here to our model, we still expect the USDA expectation to not be met, I guess, to rephrase that a little bit better. We're looking for about 100 million bushels less corn going to ethanol than what the USDA is expecting. So certainly a good number, but in kind of the broad scheme of things, we still think it's going to come in a bit short.
Yeah, and you know, one of the other things that we should be paying attention to is the stocks, and we've noticed that stocks continue to be drawn down upon when we're talking about ethanol, and I think that's going to help the crush margin going forward. And not only that, I mean, you showed the crush slide. We've been up really on the higher side of the range that we've seen this entire year. So I would expect to continue to see strong ethanol production in the weeks to come.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, tomorrow the grain market's really going to be focused on export sales. I know, particularly for soybeans, we saw a pretty good run-up in prices in the last several weeks. So I think that'll be looked at closely. For corn, soybeans, and wheat, traders are expecting between 0 and 200,000 metric tons reported. So we'll certainly keep you posted on that tomorrow morning. But, you know, I think this is going to be kind of an important export sales to watch, or export sales report to watch, particularly for soybeans.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that soybeans in particular will be watched a little bit closer. You know, we rallied all last week, and a lot of it was on the premise that we had a strike in Argentina, the possibility that sales get pushed on the U.S. books. This week's report is going to report last week's sales, and I think if we don't see any kind of sales there, if it comes out on the low side of analyst expectations, or if it misses analyst expectations completely, say we got cancellations, I think we really could see some life pulled out of the bean market.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to clarify there, those are old crop sales expectations, so between 0 and 200,000 metric tons on the old crop. But like I said, we'll keep you posted on that here on GrainTV and on Twitter. You can find us over there at GrainTV. In general, though, that wraps up what we saw here today in the grain market. Thanks a lot for joining us. Visit us tomorrow for the export sales report.